Most small business owners are losing money when it comes to their website. And it's not because they don't necessarily have one, it's they have one and it's not functioning properly. On this episode, I am going to show you the 10 parts of your website homepage that you must have if you want to make more sales and get more leads. Marketing Domination Podcast. So as we're going through this series on building out your marketing funnel, this step is about your website. So most people, unfortunately, they'll start with their website and then they kind of have to work backwards to figure out the logo, the messaging, the words that they're going to add on their website. We start in this order for a reason. We've already got our brand messaging. If you guys watched the episode a couple episodes ago, then we've got our visual identity set. We've got that one-liner statement. We know the words that we want to use in our marketing. Well, once we have those words set up, we want to make sure that we're using them across all of our marketing material, especially and most importantly, the website. So once we have those words, now you're going to start to see how things come together in the deliverables or the actual customer-facing marketing that we do. Most small business owner websites that I look at are making a huge mistake, and they're making the website all about them, and it's really confusing on what the customer has to do in order to give that business owner money and work with them. So on this episode, if you're listening to this, I really hope you go check it out on YouTube or on Spotify, so that way you can watch the video recording of this, because we're going to be showing tons of examples, because I don't want you just to hear the things. I want you to practically see what we believe as a Story Brand Guide a good website looks like. So let's dive into the 10 parts of your website homepage. Now, we're going to do more in detailed trainings on your overall website. This episode specifically is just focusing on your homepage. I think the homepage of your website should function as a sales page, right? If we've done all this work, we're creating this social content, which we're going to get to in the future, SEO, paid ads, and people are coming to the website. We want that homepage to really pop. We want it to answer a lot of the questions that our customers are asking, and we want to show them how simple it is to do business with you. We do that by crafting 10 different sections to our website using our brand script that we've already created. Now, whenever it comes to constructing and laying out the website, I'm going to show some visual examples as well as copy for you to use. But the only ones that actually matter is I want you to think about these website sections as Lego blocks. There's a foundational one, which is your header, which is the very first thing. And there's the very top, which is the footer, which is the very bottom of the website with your links and all that good stuff we're going to get to in just a second. Besides those two locations, those have to go in those places. These other sections, I'm going to show you my recommended order for them, but it's kind of like Lego blocks. You can put them and stack them in any order that you want. And in some businesses, it may not make sense to have all the Lego blocks in there. I will tell you from experience, the more of those Lego blocks that you have in there on that homepage, the higher the page typically converts and the more successful the business owner is. So going through our Lego blocks, let's go through block number 1 of what makes a successful website and the 10 parts that you must have. And the very first thing is your header section. So the header section is the most important part of your website. And there is some certain structural things that you want to have on this header section. So I'm going to share my screen here. This is we use a tool called Figma, my team and I, to lay out these websites. So I got some examples down here to show you as well as some live websites. But on your header section, guys, the most important part of your website, it should include these things. Your logo at the top left-hand corner. A large, clear statement of what your customer wants. For example, stay on top of your finances. A clear description about what you do as a company, bookkeeping and financial forecasting for restaurants. A clear, direct call to action, and that button should be at the top right hand and then also in the middle of the page. And then an image showing happy customers experiencing your product or service, and or if you're a personal brand, an image of you. It shouldn't be this ethereal, like artsy type image. It needs to be really, really clear, because images and words, or images are words, right? So it's powerful. They're going to convey a message with them. So we want to make sure that we're using the right words or right images to convey that message. Okay, so That is something called the grunt test. And this right here, if you just did this and fixed this section right here on your website, I guarantee you're going to see more conversions. The website needs to be able to answer those 3 questions. What do you do? How do you make my life better? And what do I need to do it? What do I need to do to get it? I can't tell you how often I go to somebody will reach out asking for a website review, or they will do a consulting call with me, or our initial kickoff call, our initial sales call with them, and they're having me review their website, and they don't even have these things in place on their website. It might just be a scrolling video of them doing their work and a button at the top right that says learn more. That is the worst thing that you could pretty much have on there, because it doesn't answer any of those questions. So on a website, once you have those 3 questions, then there's kind of comes down to, how does the header visually look? I'm going to keep this really simple for you. I'm going to show you guys. There's really only 3 ways you can lay out the header, and don't overthink this. So one is text over to the left and images over to the right. Or if it's like this story brand example here, you can see the text is kind of centered over to the left and the background image is just more heavily focused on the right. The other one is text centered, image centered. And then the other one is image on the left, text on the right. I will tell you from personal experience, I think that there might be some design reason you want to do this, but from just a straight up conversion aspect, the ones that convert the best are people naturally read in American English from left to right. I guess for any English, but we read from left to right. So that's how our eyes are used to flowing on a website. So we're going to make sure that these ones where the text is over to the left, or if everything is centered, I typically like to use that. If there's a video looping playing in the background, those are what I have found convert the highest. Right here, whenever the image is on the left and the text is on the right, I start to find, you can see I actually didn't even list that many examples. I start to, from what I have seen with colleagues and everything, conversions are not as high as then when they split test it and they just flip it to the other side. So that's how people typically read and look at websites. So now I want to show you some specific examples of some websites that we've designed that fit a really good header. And you're going to be able to see they all fit the same framework and structure. They're going to have the logo in the top left, or maybe the center. They're going to have, for sure, the call to action is going to be in the top right. It is going to clearly say what they do, and you're going to clearly know how this business will make the customer's life better. So first one, hey, here's an obvious one right here. Schedule the Sean Garner Consulting, logo in the top left, call to action in the top right. There's another one right over here in the center of the page, because we read these websites, especially the header, in this Z type pattern. What do they do? Well, man, they're a small business marketing agency. How do they make their life better? You're going to grow your business, dominate your industry. We're going to build, fill, and optimize sales funnels to get you more leads and sales. Wow, that sounds pretty awesome. This right here is an IV therapy lounge, WellSpot IV right here. What do we want them to do? We want them to book an appointment. What do they do? They're an Owasso-based IV nutrition therapy. How are they going to make their life better? You're going to experience a new life level of well and rejuvenate your soul, mind, and body. Right here's a medical clinic, Restore You Functional Medicine. What do we want them to do? We want them to get started. I will say this. I typically don't like get started as a call to action, but we test everything, and I'm a data guy. This is actually a business that my wife and I own. This is her medical clinic, and we tested with Become a Patient. We flipped it to get started. Conversions went up. So a lot of this stuff, guys, you always want to, not a lot of it, all of it, you always want to test and look at numbers and see what works best. This website converts extremely high. And call to action is get started. And then what are they? It is a telemedicine practice specializing in hormone replacement and functional medicine. How are they going to help you? You're going to get back to feeling and performing your best. Couple other examples. I'm going to fly through these just to kind of show you from the design. This is a business coaching business. You can see their main call to action that they're trying to do right now is they're a newer business. They're really trying to drive leads. And so they've got this free business assessment that they're wanting people to take. So that's the main thing that they want to do. They also own another company with venture capital investments and everything. So right here, what do? They're expert-led private investments to preserve and grow your wealth. They help you build wealth on autopilot. What do we want them to do? We want them to invest with us for their main call to action. It's in the fitness industry for a long time. This is one of my fitness clients, Magnus Lidbach. He's got the Magnus method. What do we want people to do? We want them to start your 7-day free trial. We don't want them to learn more, discover more, anything like that. contact us. We want them to start their 7-day free trial. So what is it? Magnus Method training app. How do they make my life better? Man, I'm going to look better, shred fat, and build lean muscle. It's going to give me the tools and knowledge to take charge of my health. Man, that sounds awesome. Anna McGee right here. You can see this is for fitness, online fitness coach for women over 50. Germa, he's got Oklahoma City commercial real estate agent. And that's the main thing we want them to do here. Schedule a call. You can see how that just pops out. What are they? Oklahoma City commercial real estate expert. They help fast sales, maximum profits. He does commercial retail. This right here is a little bit different. So this is a e-commerce brand that we work with called Mock Built. They make and manufacture Jeep mounts, parts, and accessories. So how do they make your life better? And you can take what you want, where you want. Jeep mounts, parts, and accessories so you can go farther. And our main call to action with that is shop now, because we want them to explore all the different products that they have. Last example, this page also converts extremely high, and you can see with the design on all of these. This one is, like I said, I like to use this centered text. Typically, if I'm having like a looped video in the background, we do that exact same thing here with the well spot, but we put the text over to the left just because this video content had a lot of stuff in the centered. This one, not so much. So right here, they are a Tulsa real estate appraiser and home inspector. What do we want them to do? Schedule your appraisal. How are you going to make my life better? Man, you're going to know exactly how much your home is worth and get peace of mind that you're getting the best deal when it comes to your real estate transaction. So that is the first and main section that you need on your website. And I will tell you this from experience and just from doing it, and then also just from seeing the stats. This is the most important part on your website. When it comes to design, copy, and just creating the website, this is where you should spend about 50% of your total time, is making sure that you have a really good header. You want to make sure that it's got a good image of smiling people or showcasing the service. It's got to have that good, clear call to action on it. It's got to I quickly articulate how you make their life better and what it is that you do. We want to showcase all of those things in our header section. The next part of the website, this is one of those building blocks where now once we go from here, you can put these in any order, but the order that I'm going through these is honestly the order that I think that they should be structured in. The next section of your website is something that's called the value stack section. How I typically design these is with icons or emblems or something, to where this is just going to be 3 benefits or value propositions that this particular business will give to those customers. The whole purpose of this section is to help readers know how the company can make their life better. So if we think back to our brand script section, this is going to be some of those success statements that we created with that. So how I typically like to structure this is I'll put it right below the header as just more awesomeness. We talked about with our brand script, the success and the failures, kind of the thing that will happen if they don't do business with you, that failure, and the awesome things is the success, the happily ever after. We want those to be balanced in like baking a loaf of bread. We want the failure to be just a pinch, like with a pinch of salt. We don't want too much of it. We don't want to be fear-mongering or scaring people into doing business with us. It should be just a pinch, and it should be short-term focused. With the success, it should be happily ever after, short-term, long-term, and all of the things and ways that the customer's life is going to get better after doing work with us. How I will typically do it, like I said, is you can see some different layouts of some screenshots I pulled from other businesses. A lot of times this is typically done with icons and copy or just little check marks or anything like that, to where you're just showcasing 3 additional benefits that people will get from working with you. I typically don't like to showcase features here. I like to showcase benefits. So feature is typically a deliverable or a receivable. Benefit is how it's going to impact them. So for example, I wouldn't typically write, you're going to get a fitness, nutrition, and mindset program, or so, if I was listing 3 things like that. Instead, I would put something like accountability. Know exactly accountability, know exactly how you're supposed to eat with custom nutrition program. Love the way you look in the mirror again. And I would show some of the benefits that you would get from working with this company. just flying through here, seeing a couple of examples here. Other ways that you can do it is I also show the process. We're going to get into the 3 steps of doing business with you later, but this is also the 3 things our business does for customers. We create sales funnels, we fill them with your dream customers, then you get to watch your business grow. Right here with WellSpot, boost your immune system, enhance mental clarity, faster recovery. So you can see those benefit heavy things that people will get. For Stack Business Coaching, you're going to double your revenue, automate your operations, free up 10 hours per week. So it's just kind of a more additional awesomeness that you're going to get from working with this business. Again, you can see different design elements: strengthen muscle, boost energy, increase mobility from Anna McGee Coaching. Little check marks here: in-depth market analysis, clear and consistent communication, financial maximization, and tax efficiency. We've got all the different things, and you can kind of just see on some of these examples here how they look. We don't have it on all the websites, but on e-commerce, aerospace grade durability, seamless installation, customization, adventure ready design. So that is just the icing on the cake for the value that you're going to provide. Now, the next part is called the stakes section. So this right here is the section where we want to show our customers that we understand their problem and how critical it is for them to solve it. This is not being downer, but this is kind of the negative part of the website, where we want to remind them of the problem that they're dealing with or the cost of inaction. Several different ways how I like to see this design is something like this, typically where there is just kind of a checklist, like, hey, are you still struggling with these things, and kind of give them a checklist item. It can also be done as a statement to where you just talk about right here is like, here's an example from Business Made Simple. Your number one fear of a business owner is running out of money, but without a proven plan for growth, that's exactly what will happen. So that way you're going to paint and remind them of the problem that they are dealing with. Same thing. There's just like the header section. I think people will overcomplicate building these out and overthinking the design. You could have image on the left, text on the right, everything's centered, and things could be centered as bullets or like a paragraph statement like this, or it could be text on the left, image on the right. I've done a couple of different ways just to show you examples. So my stake section starts with a question. How much is bad marketing costing your small business? If you're like most small business owners, you might be struggling with, and then I talk about the external problems right here, and this probably makes you feel, and then we get into some of the internal problems right there on this. Right here with WellSpot IV, this is kind of a little bit more of a minimalistic approach, and it's just, you can't afford to be sick and tired. And then we just talk a little bit about our service with that. But this is just a reminder to them of the problem that they're dealing with and how this particular business solves that problem. Again, you can see different things right here. Does this sound like you? Probably makes you feel. Where's another one right here? Most people make poor account. This is CMM. They're a accounting service in Oklahoma City. Most people make poor accounting mistakes because, and then we've got a list of the problems or mistakes that we're trying to help that person or that potential client avoid. Last example here from Magnus Method. Are you overwhelmed by the number of training programs and diets to choose from? Again, this is just showing that you know the problem that they're dealing with. So it's going to help them, your potential customers, to trust you a little bit more. The next section of our homepage that we want to make sure that we have is a section called the value proposition section. This section right here, the whole point of this is to show the value that you can provide your potential customers. Now, this right here is different. The value proposition section is different than the value stack section, because typically on this section right here on the value proposition is where we start to get more into features and services that we provide. So how do we do it? The value stack is the benefit that they're going to get. The value proposition, this is where I like to typically showcase the services that we offer and that we provide. So you can see right here from, again, some story brand examples right here. These are the different value propositions. So these are the services that they provide right here. This is for an online fitness app program right here. You can see the different value that they give. You can stream on your home. You can create inside the gym. right here. This is an example from it looks like ClickFunnels right here. All the different features that come inside of their product. And I'll just scroll through here. You guys can see a couple of different designed elements, anything from images to icons to custom graphics that are made. All these different examples right here, just kind of visually how it's laid out. This is Business Made Simple for their courses and the online program that they have with the Small Business Flight School. You can see how that value stack section is the different elements inside of their course and the sections of their course. On our homepage right here, this is where we just like to showcase our services, story brand messaging, website design, marketing funnels, SEO, fractional CMO, all that stuff. And we list the services that we provide. For other things, you can also just show more of the value stakes. But the whole point of this, I'm sorry, right here, the ways that you help them. So this is convenient care, restore your health, avoid the effects of aging. This is where you can, again, just showcase the product, the service, the thing that you actually do. So we talk about what we do in the header. This is where I like to visually show some of the deliverables. So with the app right here, we want to physically show what that's going to look like. So the next section on the website is, again, from our brand script, the guide section. This is the first part of the website where we actually talk about ourselves. So from the guide section, you can remember this from your brand script. It's straight out of that section. We want to show empathy and display authority. So we want to have some type of a statement or phrase that shows that we relate to the customer, but we also want to have testimonials, success, facts, and stats and everything that show that we can get results for other people just like you or just like them. With this, we can also show logos of big brands that we've worked with, facts, stats, and everything else like that. Remember, the goal of this section is to show that we have the authority to solve their problem without bragging about yourself. So visually, this can look like a couple of different things. You can have like a main testimonial that you're featured with some quotes and a little statement that says, we understand XYZ, whatever problem it is from your brand script. I'll show you my examples from my website. We say something like this for empathy. You're an expert and deserve to be seen as one. And I tell my little story about how frustrating it is to see other people in your industry have more success just because they're better at marketing. And then we get into these scrolling testimonials right here of some of the clients that we've worked with. Depending on the type of business that you do and the amount of reviews and everything that you get, you might have a lot more. So this right here for Magnus, he works with thousands of clients in his app. So we have tons of before and after pictures that we can use. We also, for authority for him, we're able to show, featured celebrity clients that he's worked with some big name actors and actresses in Hollywood. With this section right here also is a good time to showcase. And you can see now, as I'm showing you these examples, you can see that they're not all in the same order. Because remember, the header needs to be there. The footer needs to be there. These other blocks, you can just kind of click in as needed. So right here, this is an example of where we show some more authority for Measured Home Services. They have a ton of Google 5-star Google reviews. They're ranking #1 on Google for home appraisal in Owasso and in Tulsa. And you can see that's where we have a lot of authority for this. So we know how scary it can be to do a real estate transaction, wondering in the back of your mind if you're really getting a good deal. We've got everything from mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and insurance agents for testimonials from him. Plus, we've got over 165 5-star reviews to show that he is the right guide for this. The next section of your website, let me back up for this real quick. This guide section is the most missed section on people's website. Very few businesses have actually a really good success story customer review. And it's oftentimes because they think that they're so good at what they do that everybody just knows them. But whenever you go online, people only know what you show them. So if you've been an amazing trainer and you're starting to go online, or you've got this amazing accounting firm for years and you've got this, you're starting to develop more of an online presence, people don't know what you've done unless you showcase that for them. So you want to show that you're relatable and you want to have really good testimonials. On this, I'm going to do a whole video or a whole episode on what makes really good success stories and testimonials coming up. But the main thing is it should be a specific result. We don't want, hey, John is a really nice coach. We want to say, man, John helped me lose 15 pounds in 6 weeks. We want a very specific result that we have, and we want that on our website. Don't overthink the deliverable of it. It can be a quote, it can be a video. Videos are always best, but a lot of times people aren't great on video. So, all right, the next section that we want to have on our website is the packages and pricing section. So this is based upon your business. You might not list your prices. With what we do with the marketing agency, we don't necessarily list our prices because some of the stuff can be customized based upon the deliverables that are needed from the company. We do have some set package stuff that we do, but a lot of businesses, for example, like the IV therapy lounge, well, man, it's exactly set. So we list right here the different IV bag treatments that we have, the cost, the duration on it. With the medical practice, they've got their different membership plans right here that you can get. With the app, you can see we've got the different plans. You can get the monthly or annual. So a lot of different ways that you could lay this out and structure it out. This is one of those blocks, though, that doesn't need to be on every website, because if you do like a consulting or anything like that, it's kind of hard to quantify because it might be custom proposals that you're doing. So if you can still have this section on your website. If you don't want to show your prices, it doesn't mean you have to remove the section completely. But what you can do is you can have this section on your website and you can treat it more of like, I'm just showcasing the different ways that you can help. So almost like the value stack, but more almost like pre-done packages that you do. So you might have, I was in the fitness industry for a long time, so I use fitness examples. You could have like a fitness package, a nutrition package, or an overall wellness package that includes fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability. And you can just showcase different package options without listing your prices on the website. I will say this, if you are selling a higher ticketed item, most of the time by listing your prices, you are going to limit people that are looking to book calls, schedule assessment. So if you're getting too many calls, and unqualified leads, adding your pricing to your website would be a great idea. But if you're new, starting out, or not getting the amount of calls and volume of sales that you would like, I would recommend removing the pricing from your website. So that way you can deal with those objections on a sales call or an assessment type process versus just letting the customer self-eliminate and just doing price shopping for you. All right, the next part of the website, and this is 100% one of my favorites, it's the plan. This is straight out of StoryBrand. We're going to give them a simple 3-step plan to show the customer how easy it is to do business with you. So here's an example. Schedule a consultation, choose your package, stay on top of your finances. So we always recommend that the first step is that call to action, or the first step that we want them to take to do business with us. And then the third step is typically the happily ever after, or how much better life's going to be. So again, from the success section of the brand script. And the middle one is kind of like, what's the process look like? Visually, guys, this one's pretty simple. It's either you're stacking the steps up horizontally, or you're stacking them up vertical, and you can show several different ways on how that is laid out. With us, for example, right here, it's schedule a call, get your marketing game plan, execute and dominate. With the medical practice right here, it's choose your membership, get your plan, live restored. With this right here, this is a REIT, the syndicated investment company right here. It is schedule a call, become a member of the arena, and take control of your investment strategy. You can see it's 3 very simple things of what we want customers to do in order to get this problem solved. If we've done all of our work so far on this website and we've made it simple to understand what we do and all the different problems that we solve for them, we want to showcase how easy this process is to get that problem solved. Next section that we have is the explanatory paragraph. Quick version on what this is. This is, if you look at how these story branded websites are wireframed and set up, they are typically minimal copy because it's very clear, direct, punchy copy, and minimally designed because we want to make it, we don't want to confuse customers. We want really, really clear ways to how we can help them win, get their problem solved. And most people scan websites as it is. I'm an SEO guy. We do SEO as part of our agency, but StoryBrand typically doesn't allow for that, or I shouldn't say allow for it, doesn't add that into it, except for this section right here. So this is the explanatory paragraph. This is what I use kind of just as a, let's make sure that we have the right amount of copy in there to make sure that we're targeting certain keywords. We can always obviously and are doing that with the headings that we're using for sections and stuff like that. We want to make sure that we're hitting keyword counts, and just this section of the website is for those people that really feel like, oh, I've got to, I did my due diligence. I read everything that they have on their website and I really understand who this is for. That's where we're going to have typically bigger blocks of text on this. right here. So like you can see, we got just a big block of text where we are explaining our entire process of everything that we do. You can see typically we do that with like a read more section because we don't want to have all the copy right there. So we'll do lots of read more sections for things like this, just to, again, showcase. The whole point is we want customers to feel like they are able to make a decision. So anything that we need to throw in there, typically what we use on this section is we will use the brand story. And so we'll craft the whole brand script into like a paragraph statement and use that as that section of the website. Another thing that you can do on this explanatory paragraph that we do a lot, I'm pretty sure we did it right here, is we'll use the one-liner statement for businesses right here. Yeah, right here. You can see right here on Stag Capital, we did a one-liner statement. So most business leaders don't have the time or knowledge to choose the best investments. We talked about our one-liner last time. So that's the problem. Their product at Stag Capital, how do they, what's the result? We simplify your investment processing, handling all the details so you can enjoy passive returns and lasting financial freedom. So that's that explanatory paragraph section that we have right there. The next section, and we're going to do a whole episode. Actually, I think the next episode is all just about this, is our lead magnet section. So when people come to your website, they're not always ready to just give you money. We need to have a section on the website for what's called that transitional call to action that we have from our brand script. This is where we have the lead generator. This is going to be some type of PDF guide, mini course. In some cases, it can be like a discount code, like especially for product-based businesses. And this is going to be something for people that aren't ready to do business yet, that we give them, that a customer will give them their information, name, email, and phone number for text messaging marketing. And then we were going to follow up with them with a series of email and give them some type of a deliverable with that. With these are pretty minimally designed. Typically, you're going to have your form block signed up. So people are putting in their name, email, and phone number, and then you're going to show an image of the thing that they're going to get, whether it be some type of a checklist or assessment. With us, like we've got on our website, we've got the marketing domination checklist. We also have the free business assessment. With Restore You Wellness, they have a quiz where it's a hormone quiz that you can take. With the syndicated investing, they've got a guide, an ebook that they've created. Same thing. Ebooks are really good. Anna McGee here for the online fitness coach. She's got it as well. She's got the Power of Aging Blueprint. Guides are the easiest thing in the world to create. You can take your knowledge and give some checklists, a few bullet points and stuff like that, and create a really great guide. So people are getting that in exchange for their information. The one that's a little bit different is we will often do for e-commerce businesses like Mock Built, for example, that they sell and manufacture those Jeep parts. What we'll do for them for a lead generator is we will do things like discount codes, so like 10% off your first order and things like that. But even if you have an e-commerce business, you can still come up with creative ways. Like with Mock Built, we've talked about doing things like top Jeep trails you must try in the US. And so obviously people that are interested in the top Jeep trails own a Jeep. So they'd be great customers for us to follow up with our products and sales. The next section is a video section. This is, again, one that is a little bit more optional, especially if you don't have the stuff to make a video, you feel awkward or uncomfortable on camera. This video should be, again, sticking with the brand script. So it's not talking about you, how awesome you think you are and everything else. We want to stick with the brand script, make sure that we're talking directly to our customers, talking about the problems that they're dealing with, and then positioning us as the right guide to help them solve that and show them how our products and services can do that. And in that video, we want to give a clear call to action on what we want them to do business with us. So we want to repeat that call to action. The last section on the website is that footer section. I said that there's 10 sections. There really is. The last one is the footer. But I did want to show you guys just two others if it makes sense. We have tons of clients that we always recommend doing blogs, or they've got really large social media followings, or pushing them to doing video podcasts. And so we want to always have that section on the bottom of the website so clients can see the different latest podcast episode as well, because this can also be kind of like a transitional call to action to keep them engaged with you. And then other things that are really good based upon certain businesses is having that FAQ section. I also recommend this could be, if you have a ton of FAQs, its own separate page. Like we don't want to have 50 of these things listed on the page. If we look at Restore You Wellness, for example, they got quite a few FAQs and some of them are a little bit longer. with their explanation. So we don't want to list all that on the home page. That would be a page that we could link on the footer. But those are just kind of some side note optional pages that you can have. The last section, like I said, is the footer section. And this is where you link all the pages that you have on your website. We don't want anything that's called an orphan page, where it's a page that's out there on its own and you can't click through it from your home page. Hurts SEO rankings, and so it means Google's not going to like it as much. So with these guys, these are typically very minimally designed. Logo, social media links, and then also the links to all the other pages that you have. And you can see, based upon the size of your website and your business, you might have tons of different ones. Lots of SEO strategy to some of this stuff, as well as what you're linking down there, that we'll get to whenever we get to talking about more about filling the funnel from an SEO. But you can see with ours, it's pretty minimally designed on how we do all of these. Might make sense to put a map on some of these, but there's not much design that goes here. Why we like and leverage this section is because we don't, for conversion's sake, like a ton of options for people in the header. I only really like them to have their main call to action, maybe the transitional call to action. There's certain times where it might make sense, but we don't want all of those pages up at the top. Like if you look at businesses that have this huge menu bar with everything on there and all their products and services and stuff, it can be really confusing on what we want the customers to do. So especially if we've done all of this work to get them to our page, we want to make sure that it's really clear and they know exactly what to do. So all the things that you think should go on your header, move them down to your footer, because your header should be that most important part of your website where people know exactly what they need to do in order to do business with us. So this was a much longer episode than how I planned most of them being. There's a lot to get into when it comes to a website. But remember, these are the 10 parts that you should have if you want to optimize your small business website. The most important is the header. So if you take anything from this episode, the call to action, what I want you guys to do is I want you to look at the header of your website and show it to people that don't know you or know your business, and ask them these 3 questions. What do I do? How would I make your life better? What do you need to do to get it? If they can't answer those 3 questions, you are missing out on sales and you are losing money. So fix that on your header. And yeah, I'm excited to keep going through the whole marketing funnel process for you guys. And if you're listening to this or watching this, if you want to DM me on Instagram at Sean Garner, SeanGarner, and your small business has an existing website, send me over the link and just DM me this word. Please review my website, so that way I know you listen to it exactly on this podcast episode. I will 100% give you guys all a free website review for listening to this episode if you send that to me within the first month of this episode dropping. If it's years from now, I don't want to commit to it for that long, just in case. But yeah, I'll send you guys a free Loom video where I'll go over your website, make some recommendations and everything, and show what you can do as a small business owner to dominate. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you guys on the next episode so we can help small business owners grow their business and dominate their industry.